Monteci Pinot Grigio delle Venezie. Wasn't Monteci the Romeo and Juliet family? The Capuletti and Monteci? Oh no, it was Montecchi and Capuletti. But anyway, Monteci Pinot Grigio, 1925. 5 generations of winemaker. Organic farm. I think I am ready to go try this Pinot. You know what is here? Chamomile. Oh, chamomile flowers, pears, peaches, like the white peach, the pulp of the white peach. I like this. Lovely wine on the palate. The fruit is there, crunchy, slightly sugar residual that is contrasted by good gripping acidity. As you remember, the Pinot Grigio delle Venezie goes all the way across 3 different regions, from the Veneto region, from the Trentino region through the Veneto, all the way up to Friuli. In this case, we are in the far east end of the appellation, so we are in Friuli. The eastern part of the Dolomites is what we see from this vineyard. Cantina di Bertiolo is the name of the winery. It was put together in the 60s, the beginning of the 60s. So I'm very curious to go see whether the calcareous influence of the soil and the presence of the underground river is gonna make a difference in this kind of wine. So this is a pretty large winery with 280 hectares. The average size of an Italian wine estate is like 1 hectare, so 280 is pretty big in Italian standards. And the wine, I have to say the mineral notes of this wine, I'm smelling some, you know, like when you go for a walk on the riverbeds, you have like this stony minerality. That's what I'm getting right now, with a green tinge coming through the nose, like a young elderflower, and green apples. Fruit is ripe. The palate is mellow, pretty velvet, not too acidic. This is a relatively easy to drink Pinot Grigio. Where else would you enjoy this wine if not on a beautiful summer day right next to a river, some windy breeze coming through, and Pinot Grigio. Ocean. These vineyards are set where there used to be an ocean 40 million years ago. So the gray oceanic soil, calcareous, clay oceanic soil is where this Pinot Grigio is born. 3 hectares only, Scriani winery. Shall we check the wine out? So a lot of these wineries were born in the 19th century, beginning of the century. This one here is the beginning of the century, but this century, year 2000, so really young, really small. 3 hectares. Walnuts, white pepper, a little bit of a floral scent. By the way, all these tasting notes, guys, they're not phonies. Like these, I crack open the wine and I'm tasting the wine with you. So sometimes, you know what I'm saying, is not, you know, like you have to have it with it. Good Pinot Grigio character. This is a wine with maturity of the fruit. No residual sugar. You see how much I'm salivating, so lots of juiciness in the wine, lots of minerality. This is not one of those hyper tropical kind of wines. It's actually pretty austere, and I don't mind when I get this. A little bit of a bitter almond finish, slightly astringent, so that maybe there was a little bit of a fermentation and fining on the fine lees that gave the wine an extra manoprotein character, so a little bit of more sapidity. I like it. 1888 is when this winery was born. But actually, that's when Brunello di Montalcino was born. The first bottle of Brunello di Montalcino is in 1888. What does it have to do with Pinot Grigio? Nothing at all. Just a little bit of history for you. But this winery, Le Rive, big winery, it's over the 200 hectares, but it was born in 1568. Why? Can we really say that? Of course, not only there's documents, but actually there is a tree that is that old, 1568. It's a mulberry tree, and they have vines that are trained to these mulberry trees. How beautiful that must be. Where are we? 30 kilometers away from Venice. Pinot Grigio delle Venezie, 2019. Very gold color. Oh my god, this is very deep in color, so I'm expecting a lot going on here. I have the feeling, I might be wrong, that this wine went through a little bit, maybe a slightly malolactic fermentation. There's lots of creaminess, almost like a buttery note, like bread crust, minerality, and apples, beautiful ripe apples, just like vanilla. And as expected from the nose, those buttery notes become creaminess on the palate. So this is one of those Pinot Grigio that is quite full in volume, very creamy, lots of this vanilla. Right now it's like I'm eating a ripe pear, like good level of ripeness, not like overripe and then becomes almost like alcoholic ripe that I don't like. This is like good ripe, and a touch of what is there? A touch of mango fruit, so it's quite pulpy. Cantina Montelliana, the bees and the vines and the bees. I'm not crazy here, but this winery is a co-op winery. There is like 400 hectares with 700 winemakers.
No.
Actually, it's reverse. There is 700 hectares and 400 winemakers. Nonetheless, why is the bees and the vines and the vines and the bees? Is because these guys went through a project to monitor the state of the art, what's happening to the bees. And apparently the bees there is less bees around, which is not a good sign for the climate overall conditions. The fact that they are taking care of this, it means that what I'm trying to say is that this winery is interested in having a good relationship with the environment. And who doesn't like that? I do, I like it. Cantina Montelliana Pinot Grigio, I can smell immediately the tropical. So this is like more about the pineapples. Boom, like pineapple. A touch of pencil shaving, so it's not just about the fruit, but also a little bit of that kind of mineral notes. Walnuts. These walnuts sometimes come up, and a spicy touch. Almond paste. I said walnut, but on the palate it's like almond paste. One of those Sicilian pastries that I love, together with some like white pulpy kind of fruit, and a little bit of a bitter finish. This wine is way less simple than I was looking at the beginning. Relatively mild in terms of acidity, so this is not a super crunchy wine. I feel this is gonna be perfect with some little like toasted nuts right before dinner. Picture me upon your knees, tea for 2 and 2 for tea. I know, like this is why Doris Day 1925. This is when Pasqua winery was put together. The first time that I was there, Riccardo and Alessandro, the generation that is running the business now, they were playing ping pong. It's like the Silicon Valley of Veneto. In terms of the attitude, this is a generation of winemakers that are focusing about quality. So Pasqua today has done so much investment in research and development, but at the same time they're taking care of communication. So I like this new spring of winemaking in Italy. But we gotta go check their Pinot Grigio delle Venezie right now. So pretty large winery, like there is over 300 hectares here. And ripe fruit, like pebbles, river pebbles. I've got this river idea right now that it's not gonna get out of my head, but there is this kind of like minerality and apple skin, a little bit of vanilla stick. And on the palate, the wine is showing one of those Pinot Grigio with a creamy velvet touch, but at the same time, the finish is all about the citrus fruit and the crunchy finish. I like to start from the foundation year of a winery because the images that pop up into my mind are like 1907. What would the world have been in 1907? And I can think now about Carlo and Caterina, okay? These two guys put together the winery Campagnola, and they had 10 kids. 10 kids. Giuseppe is one of them, that basically was the guy that brought the winery to the next step. And then there was Luigi. Who else in Italy are you gonna be called if not Luigi? In 1960, the winery made a change of gear towards a more dynamic and modern kind of winery. And today, Campagnola is run by Giuseppe, Antonella and Monica. Allora, andiamo a assaggiare questo vino. Ooh la 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 la! We're going green. Cat grass. Total cat grass and gooseberries. Man, it's just like, oh my gosh! This wine is all about the acidity. It's crunchy, zesty, lemon. The gooseberries are coming all the way back, and the cat grass. That's how the wine is playing his game here. I was almost forgetting. Talking about the Consorzio delle Venezie, the DOC delle Venezie appellation. Well, first of all, you get to know that the world of Pinot Grigio, the vineyards of Pinot Grigio in the planet, are basically 50% almost in Italy. And guess what? 85% of it are in Delle Venezie appellation. How many winemakers produce Pinot Grigio in this area? There is 324 of them, and 39 are copes. So within the copes, there is even more winemaker. So in other words, there's hundreds of winemakers that produce this beautiful white wine of Italy. By the way, the most recognized Italian variety. In the past, this wine used to be pretty dilute, and in the 90s was a very small percentage of vines was Pinot Grigio. Roughly was 3,000 hectares. Today is 26,000 hectares of Pinot Grigio. And right now, this Pinot Grigio is way more fruit-driven, way more complexity, above all, way more length. In the past, it was kind of dilute and neutral. Right now, there is spices, there is minerality, and way more complexity. Basically, this appellation has brought a brand new revolution. As of 2017, this is how young the consortio is. By the way, the largest consortio in Italy, across 3 regions, Trentino, Veneto, and Friuli. Boom. Where is the revolution? The revolution is the fact that there is vineyards, new vineyard management, young entrepreneurs, young vigneron. They're all there making sure that the world can drink the delicious Pinot Grigio delle Venezie. Are you wondering what to pair with your Pinot Grigio? Well, there's plenty ways to go. First of all, Pinot Grigio with its spiciness, natural spiciness, is perfect with an aperitivo moment. That's, I think, the best you can do. So little nibbles of course, fried fish, sushi, guacamole and chips. I mean, that kind of stuff. I think there is no better variety, no better wine than Pinot Grigio delle Venezie to go for. Do you want to have pasta with Pinot Grigio? Of course you should have pasta. It's an Italian product at the end of the day. So, pasta. Well, with pasta, I would be quite cautious with I would go with some light sauces. You want to go light fish sauce, or you can go some pasta with veggies, beautiful risotto that you can have it with, beautiful risotto, because of the cheese, the fatness of the cheese, the acidity of Pinot Grigio is gonna cut through it and make it as a perfect food companion. I would refrain from heavy ragu sauces or risotto with, I don't know, bone marrow risotto. That could be a little bit too much. You need something with heavier body. Main course? Well, main course you can work with, white meat, chicken, of course fish, but not fish that you're gonna cook for too long. You want something that is lightly steamed or baked, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, dash of lemon, salt, boom, off you go. Pinot Grigio is basically the ultimate Italian white wine. And what is the Italian kitchen about? Simplicity. 1, 2, maybe 3 ingredients and off you go.